3 tips for those of you who have recently started leading a team. Maybe you got promoted to team lead, or you took on your first bigger project and you're still trying to make sense of it all, figuring out how you need to show up every day. Quick background. I started out as an IT expert, got curious about project management, and over time ended up leading large IT implementations for major technology companies. Here are 3 ideas that helped me make the move and hopefully will help you find your footing as a leader. Tip number 1, pick your side. When you're given the chance to lead a team, it's not by accident. Someone saw your potential and trusted you to take on more responsibility. Out of everyone, they picked you because you've shown the skills it takes to lead. A mix of communication, judgment, and follow through that few people have. And you might not even see those skills in yourself, but others did. So this is an incredible opportunity. Own it, lean in. You can't lead if you're half in, half out. The moment you take on leadership, you have to make a choice. Are you part of the team or are you leading it? You can't be both. If you still try, you just confuse everyone and you'll burn yourself out in no time. In fact, the worst team leads I've seen were the ones who did not own their role. They were uncomfortable in charge, so they tried to be everybody's best friend. And it doesn't work. If you want to be liked by everyone, pick a different role. Leadership is not about popularity. It's about responsibility and making an impact. So stop worrying about being liked. Build up respect and authority instead. Imagine you're doing a performance review and it's your buddy sitting across from you. Or you're looking at their work and it's not good enough. What do? You avoid the hard conversation. Then what? You're going to do the work yourself? Or you're going to give it to someone else because you're afraid to give honest feedback? Don't get yourself into that kind of trouble. If you don't wholeheartedly embrace your leadership role, it's not going to be a good experience for you and it's not going to be a good experience for your team. So make the leap in your mind and with your heart. And owning your role doesn't mean you become distant. Your relationship with your team members will change and you will change as a person. We talk about this. It's just a fact, but that's okay. That's how things evolve. Just stop apologizing for having authority and pick your side. And don't try to play on both sides. Tip number 2, lead the change. Don't complain about it. Quick story. This was back in 2009, right after the financial crisis. Businesses, just like the company I was working for, were trying to survive. So the executives called an all-hands meeting to present the new strategy. They talked about transformation, customer focus, the usual big words. And right after that meeting, my team lead turned to us and said, "This was all nonsense. Those guys had no clue. This won't work." And the thing is, he probably had some valid points, but something about his reaction didn't sit right. I lost quite a bit of respect for him that day. Why? Because in that moment, he didn't sound like a leader anymore. He sounded defeated, like he couldn't handle what was coming. And what happens when a leader seems defeated? The team loses confidence in their leader, and the leader loses respect. A big part of leadership is guiding people through change. When the strategy changes, when priorities move, your team looks at you. They want to see strength, not fake positivity, but calm, grounded confidence. And if you start criticizing decisions from above, you lose twice. First, you look unprofessional, and second, your team starts to doubt you. If you can't handle change, how are you going to lead the team through it? So don't vent openly. Translate, take the message and put it into context. Help your team see the bigger picture. It might be the right decision from a company perspective, but it may not be ideal for your team. That just happens. And if the decision is purely political, as is often the case, fine, acknowledge it. Crack some jokes about it and move on. Don't spread your frustration because your tone becomes the tone of your team. Tip number 3, accept that people are different. So sooner or later, anyone taking leadership responsibility will have this reality shock. You start to see how differently people work and what incredible effort it actually takes to get anything done. This is exactly what happened when I took over project management. I remember getting incredibly frustrated because things weren't moving. And I was under so much pressure. I would send out emails that people didn't respond to. I'd schedule meetings and some people just didn't show up. We had agreed on deadlines, but some people seemed not to care at all. And I constantly had to remind and push and encourage. It takes so much energy. And back then, my assumption was that people were more or less like me. They were organized, they were motivated, they were focused on making this project a success. So I was projecting my own way of working onto them. But that's just not how things are. The range in working styles and performance is just huge. And that's this reality shock that I was talking about. So when you step into leadership, you begin to see people differently because responsibility changes your perspective. So people are very different in terms of performance and communication habits. That doesn't make them bad people. It just means for you that leading requires a different level of realism and patience. And this is where you need to upgrade your toolbox. You need to learn new ways of working with people, getting things done as a team. Relying less on authority, but more on influence. Because in the end, you can't force people to care. So influence is what moves people in the direction you want. And I really encourage you to study this, How to Influence People. There's the classic book, Influence by Robert Cialdini. It helps you understand what drives humans into action. Things like trust, likability, and reciprocity. And as a leader, those become your real tools to get people to act. So from now on, start observing people more closely with curiosity rather than judgment. Notice what motivates them, what gets their attention, what builds trust. Try different techniques and see what works. And remember to give yourself time, because leadership is a long game. The more you watch, try, and learn, the better you will get at moving people into the direction you want. Alright, that's all for now. You've got a tremendous opportunity. Don't waste it. And if you found this helpful, subscribe for more real-life content on leadership and project management. Thanks for watching. I'm Adrian, and I'll see you around.